everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. We're here at Iowa Speedway for the Original Rebels Racing League Grand National Series here on iRacing. Right now, Kernan Church at the top of the board. Mike Kosick sits back in second. Dale Cutting in third. Cofield back in fourth. Matt Kleeman currently fifth on the speed charts. Just a couple cars out there making some laps right now. You see Steve McDonald out on track right now in the 68 machine. Just behind him we see the 19 of Matt Kleeman. Running a little different paint job than he normally runs. His no-neck graphics there. Also got Brandon Wallace out on track, making some laps. See, Jason Warren just having some issues out on track right now. Travis Bieber in the 114 getting some laps in. So we're looking for 75 laps tonight. And it should be a good show at this Iowa Speedway. Iowa's an interesting track. It kind of runs a bit like a short track, even though it is. We'll take a look at the race info right now. See the exact track information. So Iowa is just under a mile, 7/8 of a mile speedway in Newton, Iowa. Progressive banking, 2 to 14 degrees in the corners. Front stretch banked at 10 degrees. The back stretch banked at 4 degrees. And we saw the IndyCar series have a double header here this past weekend. So if you follow IndyCar, you probably would have watched those shows as well. Kernan Church, your fastest car on track, just finishing up his last couple laps. And I completely forgot to grab the point standings before logging on here. Seeing if there's a way I can find those real quick. See who else is making their last couple laps. So about 15 seconds ago, we see Greg Barnett out on track in that POW MIA machine. As practice is now over. And we're getting ready for some qualifying action. Eddie Smith, one of the first cars to make his way out on track. Doesn't look like my trading paints is up and running. I'm going to put up the Wreckage Rewind for a second while I check something on my end here. For those who are with me on Sunday night, you'll know that my computer decided it wanted to nuke itself over the weekend. So this is a fresh install here, so I just want to make sure that I got everything the way I'm supposed to have it. So again, I do apologize. Just bear with me just a moment as Things popping up all over on my screen. Yeah, that is Eddie's paint job that we do actually have on screen here. So Eddie currently third on the board. Tyler Rice just coming to take the checkered flag on his lap. There we go. Let's see, Jason Lottridge just making his way out onto the track. Well, this might not be the prettiest way to do it, but this is the way we're going to do this tonight. Here are your point standings coming into tonight. Andy Kurtz at the top of the board. Charles Stevens in second. Brandon Wallace, Matt Kleeman, Eddie Smith. Then Jason Warren, Jason Lottridge, Brandon Pollock, Steve McDonald, and Jonathan Cofield make up your top 10. As we are back to taking a look at cars on track. Who else is out there? Greg Barnett getting ready to make his qualifying attempt. I do apologize for all the ugliness you saw as I was trying to get those points up on the screen. Sometimes you just got to make do and do what you got to do, right? You got to see a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff there as well. So you have to see all the buttons that control my my scoring and camera here. So Greg Barnett currently taking the white flag. Currently up into the 16th position. Let's see if he's able to improve his time on the second lap. Off of turn number 4 down to the start-finish line. Barnett is going to improve his spot, but he's going to move up into the 13th position. So we've got about 30 seconds left in qualifying. I don't think anybody else is going to have enough time to make their way out onto the track. Barnett makes his way down onto pit road with 20 seconds left in the session. Jason Lottridge currently at the end of pit road, but not out there making a qualifying attempt. And NASCAR Fan 333 says, hope this is an enjoyable race. It's Iowa. It should be an enjoyable race. They usually always put on a good show here, and looking forward to it tonight as we take a look at your starting grid. Of course, your peg leg pole award will go to Mike Kosick, with Jonathan Cofield starting to his outside. Row 2 will find the 808 of Brett Bieber with Jason Warren to his outside in row number 2. Row 3, we see the return of Chuck Pegleg Feltz and Eddie Smith back in the 6th position. Then Kernan Church and Aaron Adcock will make up row number 4. Row 5 is the 99 of Brandon Wallace with the 54 of Daniel Cunningham to his inside. Then we'll move on to row 6 with Steve McDonald and Josh Oswald. Josh Oswald running that Cole Trickle type paint job. Great looking car. Back in row 7, the 38 of Greg Barnett on the inside, with Travis Bieber to his outside. Then Charles Stevens Jr. and Tyler Rice make up row number 8. Row 9, Brandon Pollock and Jason Lottridge. And then rounding out the field will be a couple Matts, Matt Kleeman and Matt Knights. as we get ready for 75 laps here at Iowa Speedway. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. If you know anybody who might enjoy this type of thing as well, don't forget to share it along as well. As we're getting ready for some racing with Mike Kosick and Jonathan Cofield up on the front row. Cofield's showed a lot of speed in the Grand National Series this year. Let's see if he's able to continue his ways here. We're going to go one more lap before the pace car pulls off. Of course, I want to thank everybody who makes this league possible. Kinder Farm and Ranch, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Dark Horse Motorsports, Chuck Pegleg Felts, JC Race Graphics, and Rebels Racing Network. Looks like some of my paints just are not popping up like they should be. And I do apologize for that. I know that 808 does have a different paint job than the default paint job there. You see a couple paints popping in and out. Same with Eddie Smith. There we go. So pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Mike Kosick's going to lead him down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Iowa, and they are side by side already. Now Kosick has the advantage going down into turn number 1. And Cofield falling back just a little bit. Brett Bieber taking a look down to the inside. Jason Warren, but he's going to lose a position now to Eddie Smith as Warren's able to move up into the 3rd position, trying to take the high side around the 58 of Jonathan Cofield. A little further back, we got a battle between Brandon Wallace and Chuck Pegleg Felts as they make their way off of turn number 2. And ooh, Pegleg having a little connection glitch there. He's blinking out just a little bit as Josh Oswald is going to go around on the outside as well. And Oswald right up to the back bumper. Oh, Brandon Wallace gets loose. Able to hold on to it, though. Great save for the 99 machine. But he's going to lose a couple positions as both Chuck Pegleg Felts and Travis Bieber are able to get back around the 99. Brett Bieber has Aaron Adcock trying to take a look up to the high side. Just not close enough to make that move just yet. Now Aaron looking down to the inside. So a great battle already up towards the front as Aaron Adcock trying to take away that 4th position. Sorry, that 5th position for Brett Bieber, and just not able to make that move stick. A little further back, we see Chernin Kirch already with a little bit of damage to the rear end. Might have had a little issue on the start. Somebody ran in the back of him. I'm sure there's another car out there that's got a similar looking dent on their front end. Yep, we found it right there. It's the 54 of Daniel Cunningham. You see the damage to the front of that car. So Cunningham already in a bit of some trouble here with the damage to the front end of his car. Hopefully that doesn't hinder any cooling to that 54 machine. As Aaron Adcock's trying to take another look down to the inside of Brett Bieber. And Adcock's going to have the position off of turn number 2, but here comes Bieber fighting back hard on the high side. See Josh Oswald right there waiting in the wings in case something was to happen with those two, and Aaron Adcock has to tuck back in line. And now Josh Oswald taking a look down to the inside. All right, we're seeing that higher line being the more beneficial line in the early runnings of this race. A little further back, we saw Jason Lawridge think about making a move underneath Steve McDonald, but just not quite close enough just yet. Oh, and a big push out of the 88 of Charles Stevens Jr. Now Greg Barnett, gets loose underneath him, so and then the 48, Jason Lawridge bouncing off the wall. Just got to check up a few drivers as Matt Kleeman checks up to get out of the way. A little further up, we've got Brett Bieber running up on that high side. Aaron Adcock trying to take another look as Mike Kosick's lead was over a second lead. Now he's got Jonathan Cofield reeling him in. So Cofield's starting to run down your leader. So the top two run a half a second between each other. Then you got to go almost 2 seconds back to third place. Jason Warren, who's got Eddie Smith kind of waiting in the wings right there. And Aaron Adcock and Brett Bieber continue in the battle as they make their way off of turn number 2. And now Aaron's going to try taking a look up to the high side this time. And while that's going on, Travis Bieber making his way into the mix as well, taking a look to the inside of Josh Oswald, but not enough momentum to make anything go yet. Here comes Aaron Adcock yet again, just frustrated not being able to make the pass on the 808. This time, though, he's going to dive it in hard. It's going to stick for him, and they're going to be side by side off of turn number 4, but again, that high side, Bieber just able to hold on to the high side just a little bit better. And now Travis Bieber down on the low side, trying to take a look at Josh Oswald, just not able to make that move as Aaron Adcock continues to battle for that 5th position. Aaron might throw a little bit of a slider here, and he's going to try to slide up in front. He will. Slide job on the 808. Now Josh Oswald saw that move. He goes, you know what? I'm going to try that myself. As they come off of turn number 4, but Oswald just doesn't have the momentum off of turn number 4. And that's what we're seeing all night. You can get the momentum into turn, or off of turn 2, and you can get side by side with a driver. But off of turn 4, that high lane just a little bit stronger right now. As Jason Warren has the 87 of Eddie Smith all over the back bumper. As now Smith's going to have the position off of turn number 4. First driver we've really seen be able to keep the momentum off of turn 4, and Warren's going to let Eddie right on by, and Aaron Adcock was trying to take advantage of Jason Warren's break-in momentum, but now Adcock looking up to the high side, trying to get some momentum off of turn number 4 to try to make the same move that Eddie just made into turn number 1. Just behind, we see Kernan Church, who was fastest in practice. Started back in the 7th position. And it looks like he got, as we mentioned, got run over from behind. I think that might have broke his momentum on the start, as he has a little bit of a connection issue. Josh Oswald trying to get around that 22 machine. Little battle back here, almost some 3-wide racing between Brandon Pollock, Jason Lotridge, and Charles Stevens Jr. Matt Kleeman here in the mix as well. And I do apologize, I did read the schedule wrong, and it is 125 laps is the distance. As Aaron Adcock now taking a look down and getting around the 32 of Jason Warren. So move Aaron Adcock up into the 4th position. And Brett Bieber now has Kernan Church right there on the back bumper, as Church is trying to make his way back up towards the front as well. Ooh, Church almost ran into the back of the 808. He had to slow down to keep from running over that driver, as it looks like Brett's starting to have a little bit of an issue here. Just doesn't have the speed that he had earlier in the run. We'll ride along. We'll listen to see if that car is starting to push a little bit. Yeah, you hear he just cannot get back to the gas quick enough. We see a little bit of damage, not just to the rear end, but the right rear of that 22 as well. Like he may have brushed the wall just a little bit. Maybe made some contact with another car. Now we've got the battle side by side down the backstretch, and Kernan Church now going to take a look down to the inside. He's going to throw a bit of a slider here on the 808 as well. See if Brett tries to cross him over here. He's thought about it, but just wasn't close enough to try to make the move. So move Kernan Church back into the 7th position. And Cofield has caught the 8 of Mike Kosick. Kosick running that little bit of a higher line, trying to run a little more defensively. Now Cofield taking a look down to the inside. See, he's going to have the momentum up off the corner. No, he's going to have to slide back in line. Now he's going to have to try to regroup and see if he can make another go at it here. So this is a battle for the lead up at the front between Mike Kosick and Jonathan Cofield. Now Cofield back down to the inside, trying to make that move again. And he's going to clear and throw a slider of his own up on the 8. So move Jonathan Cofield up into the lead. There's another battle back here. Joshua Oswald trying to take a look to the outside of Brandon Wallace. Wallace, though, making his way right through, and he's going to drive on by the 17. You see the 6 of Tyler Rice right back in the mix here as well. Kosick now with a move of his own down to the inside to retake over the lead. See if we can get a quick replay on that, how he did it. Just driving down hard into turn number 4 and throwing a bit of a slider right up in front of the 58. So Kosick back up into the lead, as we got some 3-wide racing here in the back. Daniel Cunningham, Chuck Pegleg Feltz, and Tyler Rice were all just 3 wide for a moment. They've got it sorted out, as Pegleg's now taking a look down to the inside of Tyler Rice. Rice able to pull away from the 75 machine. Aaron Adcock now has some pressure from behind. Jason Warren ran him back down. Warren's trying to take over that 4th position. Ooh, Tyler Rice gets really loose up off of turn number 4. Making a move around Josh Oswald. Chuck Pegleg Phelps right there in the mix. Waiting in the wings in case one of those make a mistake, as Chuck is continuing to have a little bit of a connection issue. Even though we've only got 20 cars on lap or on track, the racing has been incredible. As you see, Matt Knight's the last car on the lead lap. Take that back. Matt Knight's is actually 1 lap down as he makes his way off of turn number 2. Our leaders are now going I'm going to take that back one more time. Matt is still on the lead lap, but he is about a straightaway in front of our leaders as Eddie Smith now showing some long run speed. Ran down Jonathan Cofield and Mike Kosick. And that last time by, Eddie Smith was the fastest car on the track by almost 0.2. See Eddie holding just such a pretty wheel through the corner, not really moving the wheel around too much. He's now moved around Jonathan Cofield, and he's going to set his sights on the 8 of Mike Kosick. Again, really turning on the speed here in this later run. Daniel Cunningham and Pegleg Phelps going at it side by side. Brandon Pollock right there loitering it behind, as Steve McDonald right behind Pollock. So, ooh, 3 wide racing behind. Charles Stevens Jr. makes some contact with Steve McDonald. They're able to keep it going straight, and that was almost our first Wreckage Rewind of the night. As here comes McDonald making it 3 wide again off of turn at number 2, but Pegleg able to make the move on the high side. Here comes Charles Stevens Jr. now looking down to the inside. Matt Kleeman getting a little loose. And we were almost just 4 wide for a second as Brandon Pollock was all the way at the top of the wall. Eddie Smith is there, taking a look down to the inside of Mike Kosick. They are side by side off of turn number 4. Kosick still out in front, but just by a hair. As the battle for the lead continues. Cofield now right back into the mix as well, as these two are running side by side. Cofield's able to pull right back up to the back bumper. Eddie Smith tries it clear of the 8 machine. Tries to throw a bit of a slider, just not able to make that work. There you go, Eddie Smith takes over the lead on lap 47 of this 125 lap event. Last time we saw Kosick get passed, he immediately, oh, yellow flag is out. Looks like it's for Pig Leg Feltz, who is around on the front stretch. And that will bring up our first Wreckage Rewind of the night. So we take a look and see what happened to Feltz here. Racing side by side with Steve McDonald. Tries to throw a slider and just was not clear. McDonald makes contact. That turns that 75 machine right around and into the outside wall. And unfortunately, not collecting anybody else. As the entire field is going to make their way down on the pit road. We see everybody on pit road. Eddie Smith making his way down off the pit road. He will be the first car off the pit road. Mike Kosick rolls off second, and then it's a battle on back. Jonathan Cofield looks like he got off third. Aaron Adcock in fourth. Jason Warren back in fifth. Paul Passion, it's good to see you in the stream. Travis Bieber sixth. Kernan Church seventh. Brandon Wallace comes off pit road eighth. Brandon Pollock ninth. And Tyler Rice in 10th. So a couple reminders of the rules here in the Grand National Series. There are no resets. So the damage that Peg Leg received from that incident, he'll either have to deal with or go down pit road and see if he can get it fixed up the best he can. Of course, we have the choose rule, which means that the drivers can choose whether they want to restart on the inside or outside lane. They must declare before they reach the start-finish line. So Eddie Smith might choose the outside lane here because we see how strong the outside is on fresh tires. Mike Kosick has the opportunity. If he wants, he can start behind the 87 on that high lane because of how strong that high lane is. And Cofield could move himself up into second place by taking the low lane if those two were to do that. So it really changes the complexity of the restarts, really allows for some strategy to where the drivers want to restart. We'll see exactly where each driver goes. So we see Eddie Smith declaring high. Mike Kosick's going to declare low. Cofield's also going to declare low. So that's going to move Aaron Adcock up to the high side. As everybody files in double file. So, excuse me. We'll re-rack them, restack them, get ready to refire them in the restart zone. If you're not familiar with that, there's Geico signs painted on the pavement and the wall as they make their way off of turn number 4. That is the restart zone. The leader must fire off in that restart zone. If he accelerates before that, he will get a black flag. If he slows down too much, he'll get a black flag as well for not maintaining pace speed. He can choose to go at the beginning of the zone, the end of the zone, wherever he wants, but as long as he fires off in that zone. If he doesn't fire off in the zone at all, the green flag will come out. Racing will resume with or without the leader. So here we go. Eddie Smith, up on the high side, coming to that restart zone, fires off, green flag back in the air. And we are back racing as see Mike Kosick looking down to the inside, trying to get around Aaron Adcock. And Kosick's going to, I thought he was going to clear Adcock, but Adcock fighting hard back on that high side. Jason Warren with those fresh tires, trying to make some moves while the tires feel good. And that's allowed Eddie Smith to get out to almost a second lead As Aaron Adcock and Mike Kosick are now still battling for that second position. And Kosick's going to hold on to second place. Adcock's going to sneak up into third. And this is just one of those products of the choose rule. You see Jonathan Cofield was in third. And now he's all the way back into the fifth position. As Aaron Adcock has Jason Warren now taking a look down to the inside. Warren, though, not quite close enough to make a move. And just behind this, we see Travis Bieber trying to get around Curtin Church. Cofield trying to make another move around the 32 of Jason Warren, but just not close enough to make the move. And then as we go to the back of the field, we've seen this all night, this gaggle of cars here in the back, led by Charles Stevens Jr., Brandon Wallace, Josh Oswald. Those two seem to find each other running side by side quite a bit. Right behind you see Daniel Cunningham battling with Tyler Rice. As Aaron Adcock now taking a look, tried to slide up in front of Jason Warren, but just is not able to complete that slide job. Now Adcock back down to the low side. And Cofield now right there in the mix, trying to take away that position from Aaron Adcock by using that high lane, as Adcock pushed up the track just a little bit. Now Curtin Church and Travis Bieber right on the tails of Adcock and Cofield. So Eddie Smith on the restart was able to get himself out to almost a second lead, but Mike Kosick has already run down Eddie Smith, running a little bit quicker than that 87. We know that 87's got the long run speed. Kosick, though, trying to put himself back in a position to get out front. A little further back, Daniel Cunningham, looks like he's got most of that damage on the nose fixed. Trying to move himself forward. Taking a look down underneath Charles Stevens Jr. Not quite able to make the move as Brandon Wallace now trying to use that low side to propel himself forward. See the cars make their way down the backstretch and into turn number 3, and Cunningham doing everything he can on that low side. He's going to clear the 88 of Charles Stevens Jr., but Jr. is going to cross him over here, try to retake that position away. While that's going on, our leaders all running nose to tail. That time by, Jason Warren in the 32 was the fastest car on track. As they come by this time, that switches over to Jonathan Cofield. Actually, I take that back. Travis Bieber was the fastest car on track that lap. Right now, everybody kind of just running single file, just trying to feel out this run. Is Curtin Church now all over the back bumper of Brett Bieber. just not close enough to make that move just yet, though. At the same time, Jason Warren has Jonathan Cofield looking all over the back bumper of that 32 machine. So we're just a few laps away from halfway. Eddie Smith continues to lead over Mike Kosick. Right now the field kind of spreading out here on this run just a little bit. A couple drivers who burnt their stuff off early in the first run, kind of realizing their mistakes and just kind of taking it a little bit easier here. Brett Bieber way back in the back. Lost 12 positions so far since the race started. Now finding himself battling with Greg Barnett, trying to claw his way back up towards the front. Just in front, we see Brandon Wallace taking a look down underneath Matt Kleeman, just not able to get there just yet. As Josh Oswald and Daniel Cunningham now going at it side by side. Ooh, almost some contact as Cunningham pushed up the track. Almost ran into the door of Josh Oswald. Broke all his momentum. He's going to have to regroup and try to make that run again as Charles Stevens Jr. now looking underneath Tyler Rice, trying to take over the 11th position. And Jr. almost pushes up into the side of Tyler Rice. So that turn 4 is starting to become tricky for a few drivers. As the tires wear off, that right front heats up and it causes the cars to push. And what I mean by push is the car just doesn't want to turn. It's almost like a car is being pushed by somebody. It just will not turn in the corner. Also referred to as tight, or if you're from overseas, you might call it understeer. Basically, the car has 3 ways it can feel. It can feel loose or oversteer. That's where the rear end just wants to kind of sneak out from underneath it. And you can have your car that's neutral. It's doing kind of what you want to do. It's not tight. It's not loose. It's driving pretty good. And then you can have a car that's tight. And that's what we're seeing a lot of these drivers fighting with right now, where the car just doesn't want to turn. The old saying is, if you're loose... Oh, speaking of loose, saw Matt Kleeman get really loose there off of turn number 2. They say, you know, a car is loose when it hits the wall with the back end. You know it's tight when it hits the wall with the front end. But loose is always fast. When you can get that back end hanging out and sliding around, you can gain some speed. And we see Kosick under some pressure now from Jonathan Cofield. And just behind, Aaron Adcock trying to make a move now underneath Travis Bieber, trying to take away that 5th position. With Kernan Church right there in the mix as well. As we are just past halfway, and the battle for second is starting to heat up. Douglas County says, come on, Barnett, you got this. As Cofield takes a look down, trying to make that move off of turn number 4. He's going to have the position, though, into turn number 1, and we've seen that's where some of the best moves have been made here, is being able to use that slide job up of turn number 2 as we see the lap car of Chuck Pegleg Phelps right out in front. So move Jonathan Cofield up into the 2nd position. Greg Barnett back here in this mix of cars. He's got Charles Stevens Jr. right in front of him. Brett Bieber right behind him. And just in front, we see some almost 3-wide racing between Cunningham, Tyler Rice, and Brandon Wallace, as they thought about making it 3-wide for a moment, but figured everything out. Ah, there you go. That's Lanford. Okay. Wasn't sure who it was. I just go by what it says there. And I don't ever know everybody's YouTube names just yet. So Josh Oswald and Daniel Cunningham continue to battle over this 9th and 10th position. And Travis Bieber now has Aaron Adcock taking a look down to the inside, as Curtin Church makes easy work of the lap car of Pegleg Phelps. And Adcock's going to have that nice position going into turn number 3. But Bieber's going to have that momentum off of turn number 4, and we'll see if he's able to hold on, and they are. They're still side by side racing for the 5th position. But I think Adcock's going to be able to clear him off of turn number 2 this time. No, Bieber's going to fight back hard on that high side. While these two are running side by side, that's going to allow Kernan Church to catch right up to these two as well. Off of turn number 4. And, ooh, Aaron Adcock got a little loose down on the low side. But he's going to make that move back down into turn number 1. Oh, now Bieber gets really loose off the corner, and Aaron Adcock's going to jive to the outside, trying to take the position. Oh, there's contact, and Adcock is around. Caution is out. Oh, as Tyler Rice runs into the back of Josh Oswald, trying to get slowed down. That's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. And we actually saw it happening live. As we can see, the 114 of Travis Bieber is incredibly loose off the corner. He does a good job holding on to it, but as he goes down into the corner, he just pushes up the track. And there's that tightness I was talking about. You see him just push up the track. The car has no grip. Gets into the side of the 23, and sometimes 8 tires are better than 4. Unfortunately for Aaron Adcock, sends him around. And then you see just in front, Tyler Rice gets in. I think he actually did get into the back. We'll have to rewind this just a little bit, see if he did. Indeed, yeah, you see, indeed ran into the back of Josh Oswald, not realizing that the 23 was slow at the top of the track. So again, the field down on pit road. See if we can see the race off. Eddie Smith off first, Cofield off second, Warren off third. Bieber Kosick having some troubles on pit road there. He's going to lose a ton of positions. He's going to fall all the way back into the, it looks like the 7th position. Let's rewind here and see if we can see what happened. So let's see if we see what happened to the 8 here. Comes to a stop. Oh, he slides right past his pit stall. He was just a little too far and had to back up. It took a minute to get it back into reverse, and that's what cost him 5 positions on track. Colt Lanford says he's going to take the blame for the caution. This is the second caution of the night. Racing's been pretty good. The 2 incidents we've seen have been pretty close to each other. Just a driver not being out. The first caution was Chuck Feltz thought he was clear and slid up in front, didn't pull off the slide job properly, came up and smacked the outside wall. And then the second caution is exactly what we just saw between Aaron Adcock and Travis Bieber. But if you want to take the blame for that caution, you can, for sure. But there's an old adjective that we say in racing here, and that's the fact that cautions breed cautions. We'll have to see if that continues the trend here. Speaking of cautions breeding cautions, Intensity has a t-shirt for that. If you go over to intensitybroadcasting.com, find a link down below. You can find all our hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, anything your heart can desire for not just Intensity Broadcasting, but we have some novelty t-shirts that we've made as well as Adley Atman-Weiss' merchandise there to help with his Bandolero career. But yeah, this is our Cautions Breed Cautions t-shirt, so you can pick that up over at Intensity Broadcasting, along with, again, Adley Atman-Weiss gear, Intensity Broadcasting gear, and all your favorite racing leagues, such as the Original Rebels Racing League, SCSRA. So you can check that out, intensitybroadcasting.com. So here we go. Eddie Smith to the outside. Jonathan Cofield to the inside. Travis Bieber restarting third. Jason Warren in fourth. Mike Kosick way back in fifth. And Kernan Church up in the sixth as the pace cars get ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And they'll approach the restart zone. You see that Geico at the bottom of the screen. That's where the leader is going to have to fire off. Green flags back in the air. Great jump for Eddie Smith as he's able to clear Jonathan Cofield as they make their way down into turns 1 and 2. And already Jason Warren trying to take advantage of that high side, getting around Travis Bieber. And here comes Kernan Church. But Kosick on a tear right now. He's upset, mad at himself for overshooting his pit stall. And he's trying to drive his way back up towards the front with about 35 laps to go. And Lanford, I agree. This is a great group of guys. You don't see a whole lot of cautions out of these guys, especially at super speedways. Although Iowa is not a super speedway, we've seen a lot of clean racing here so far tonight as Eddie Smith now gets out to about a half a second lead. And Jason Warren taking a look at the back bumper of Jonathan Cofield as Kosick trying to get a run here on the 114 of Bieber. And off a turn at number 4. Bieber slides up the track just a little bit. Looks like he's been running that second lane, if you will, that first set of hash marks a little bit higher. And a track like Iowa, where you have the progressive banking, that can actually save your tires a little bit. The bottom of the track is banked at 12 degrees. The top of the track is banked at 14 degrees. So the more banking that you're using, the better it is on the tires. Brett Bieber and Greg Barnett battling side by side. Josh Oswald right there in that mix as well. As we got a battle shaping up here at the front. Cofield has caught the 87 of Eddie Smith just behind Mike Kosick. Taking a look down to the inside of Travis Bieber, but just not able to make the move. As Cofield now thought about making the move on Eddie Smith, but just not quite close enough to get there. As we are approaching 25 laps to go. Could we see a bump and run here tonight at Iowa? Ooh, Kosick a little loose off the corner, but he's able to keep that momentum. Gets down to the inside of Travis Bieber. Still not quite able to get that move done. And we know these cars do not like dirty air, so when they're sitting behind another car, it makes the passing extremely difficult. It's easy for, as you see right there, Kosick loses the front end of his car, just not able to get that car to turn down underneath the 114. I'm not a betting man, but I say my money is on Cunningham. And Cunningham's making some moves right now. Back in the 7th position. He had that damage from the beginning of the race. Looks like he's got most of it fixed up. And he's now up 2 positions from where he started up into the 7th position. This battle is continuing still for the 5th position. Ooh, big wiggle out of the 8 of Kosick. So that's going to, again, kill his momentum. As next time we cross our finish line, we'll have just 25 laps to go. All night we've seen Alien Eddie have the long run speed, but right now he's got some competition from the 58 of Cofield and the 32 of Jason Warren. Now Kosick drives it in hard, able to get around the 114 with a major slide job on Bieber to take over that 4th position. Is there enough time for Mike to put a run together here and get himself back up towards the front? Eddie Smith still has the 58 of Cofield right there on the back bumper. Eddie not quite back to the throttle as quickly as Cofield. Cofield's going to make the move down to the inside now. They are side by side, almost make some contact. They're tight on each other as they come off of turn number 4. And Smith is going to hold on to the lead. But a great run from Cofield trying to take that position away. And we almost saw the contact, but man, that's just hard racing. Battle back here. It's Greg Barnett looking to the outside of Steven John. Ooh, almost some contact in the back here as they're still side by side. And Cofield running right there on the back bumper. I would love to crank up the intensity. Unfortunately, this track does not have the cameras to do that. Plus, the intensity is starting to crank up right now as we've got battles all over the track. See Matt Kleeman taking a look up to the high side of Brandon Wallace. And Charles Stevens Jr. right there in the mix as well. So we've got big battles for position all over the track with about 18 laps to go. Charles Stevens Jr. now taking a look down to the inside of Brandon Wallace. But again, that high side just so strong here at Iowa. And while those two are battling at it, it's allowing Aaron Adcock to catch right back up as well. Adcock, who was battling for the lead and had a little contact with Travis Bieber, and now he sees himself towards the back of the field as Cofield making another run at it here. You hear Cofield trying to get back to the throttle early, but just not able to get back. And you see Eddie Smith really rolling the corner, waiting a long time to get back to the throttle. Cofield just trying to drive it in just a little bit harder, lap after lap, to see if he can get up to the back bumper, maybe force an error out of Eddie Smith. But Eddie Smith doing a good job of ignoring that 58 right behind him. Aaron Adcock now taking a look to the inside of Brandon Wallace. And Adcock's going to slide up in front of Wallace to take over the 11th position. Now he's trying to run down the 88 of Charles Stevens Jr. Battle back here between Travis Bieber and Curtin Church. Church down on the low side. Bieber up on the high side. Ooh, big wiggle out of Curtin Church. He's going to have to tuck back in line. Great job holding on to it, not getting into the side of the 114. Now Jason Warren has Mike Kosick all over the back bumper as Kosick's trying to get himself back up onto the podium. He was almost up underneath the 32 machine. And as Eddie Smith's going to cross the line this time, oh, almost some contact there between Kosick and Warren. But we have just 10 laps to go. Kosick is right there. Now he's going to dive down to the bottom off of turn number 4. Can he keep the momentum up that stay inside? No, he's going to have to try to tuck back in line and try to take it again. Now they're going to be side by side off of turn number 2. With that high side just a little bit stronger. But here comes the lap car of Pegleg Feltz. So we'll see if that plays into the mix with this race right here, as Pegleg's going to go all the way up to the high side of the track. That's going to kill Warren's momentum up off the corner as Kosick gets really loose. Curtin Church got really loose, and Kosick back down to the bottom. And now Curtin Church and Travis Bieber have caught Jason Warren and Mike Kosick. Church is showing some speed. He's really loose right now, but he's fast. Because right now he is the fastest car on track. As he looks up to the high side of Kosick. Kosick trying to get back down underneath Jason Warren. Yeah, a 3-car battle for our final podium spot. It's Curtin Church Man, wrestling that car, but able to get around Mike Kosick, although Kosick's fighting back now hard on the inside. He's loose on the low side, almost pushes up the track into Church. Curtin Church takes over the 4th position. Now he's going to try to take over that 3rd position. They're going to be 3 wide as they go into turn number 4. Church gets tagged. He goes around, catches Kosick. Kosick on the outside wall. Cunningham gets involved as well. Travis Beaver, there's Kleeman. Aaron Adcock gets a little piece as well. Caution. Caution is out on the track. And that's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. And Curtin Church, who showed so much speed right there. Man, having a tough break with the 3 wide racing. Let's take a look at this. We're going to watch this one here from the blimp so we can get a good idea of the exact... zoom in just a little bit here. We see the 3 wide racing. And that's 3 cars trying to occupy the exact same space on the track. Curtin Church almost able to say it. He catches the rear bumper of the 8 of Kosick. Kosick slaps the outside wall. Travis Bieber makes contact. There goes Daniel Cunningham. Makes a little bit of contact. Brandon Pollock up against the wall. Made a little contact with the outside wall. Matt Kleeman, nowhere to go. Pounds the 22 machine. Aaron Adcock, just a little scrape. Doesn't look like too much damage to that 23 machine. And then everybody else able to sneak on through and get by. So we see Curtin Church on pit road. Cunningham on pit road getting some of that damage fixed. Again, remember, these drivers do not have resets. And, yep, Lanford says, there goes my bet. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Cunningham getting some damage, having to get some damage fixed on pit road right now. Brandon Wallace down and away. Some of the drivers who were in the back of the pack taking tires, trying to make a little last-ditch effort here. So we're going to have ourselves a green-white checker. Don't forget to join us Sunday night as we got our truck doubleheader with the Original Rebels Racing League Outlaw Truck Series kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Original Rebels Racing League Sunday Night Truck Series, the OG Series, kicking off at 10 p.m. Eastern. So this week, forgot exactly where they're running this week. This week, they'll be taking on Dover for 100 laps in both series. So the Concrete Oval, we know a couple drivers are Concrete Kings. Lanford says he'll be on track for those. So here we go. Drivers already declaring what lane they want to be in. Eddie Smith is going to choose that high side again. Cofield down on the bottom. Jason Warren giving up the inside lane. He's going to restart on the outside lane in 3rd. Brandon Pollock's going to choose the inside lane in 4th. Charles Stevens Jr. Oh, I take that back. Lights are still on the pace car, so we're going to go one more lap before they have to declare. But I believe we're seeing what the declaration is going to be already. While we're talking about our series, we got a couple series wrapping up. Actually, one series wrapping up on Tuesday night. The Doghouse Racing League Truck Series, presented by Shoney's, will be wrapping up their season at Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Tuesday night. SCSRA is going to have their All-Star race on Wednesday night. And then next week, right here on Friday nights, we'll have the Grand National Series. And they'll be taking on Gateway next week. So now lights are off on the pace car. And it looks exactly as I thought it was going to. Eddie Smith up on the outside. Jonathan Cofield to the bottom. Jason Warren gives up that third position, goes up to the high side. It allows Brandon Pollock to advance his position up to third. Aaron Adcock up into fifth. And Charles Stevens Jr. is going to restart sixth. Then Steve McDonald and Greg Barnett both in seventh and eighth. And rounding out your top 10 will be Brandon Wallace on the inside and Tyler Rice on the outside. So here we go, green, white checker this time. Eddie Smith's going to lead them back down to that restart zone. Green flag back in the air. And another great restart for Eddie Smith. Cofield has a mirror full of Jason Warren. Warren up on that high side trying to make something happen. Here comes Brandon Pollock on the low side. He was trying to get to the inside of Jason Warren, just not able to do it. Charles Stevens Jr. now to the outside of Brandon Pollock. He's going to move himself up into the fourth position as they come off of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. Last lap. No matter what, the race will end here on this lap. Jonathan Cofield able to hold off Jason Warren. Eddie Smith with a comfortable lead right now as they make their way down the backstretch for the final time. Into turn number 3, Eddie Smith is going to come off of turn number 4, and he's going to capture the flag here at Iowa. Jonathan Cofield comes home second. Jason Warren back in third. Then Charles Stevens Jr. and Aaron Adcock are going to be fourth and fifth. But it's all about Alien Eddie as the fireworks fly off on the backstretch. Comes home as your winner here tonight at Iowa. He's going to do a little bit of celebration here before the traditional Rebels Racing League Demolition Derby. Typically started off by Brandon Wallace. Has perfectly right on cue. Brandon Wallace with the demolition start there. As we take a look at your final results, Jason, let's try that again. There we go. Eddie Smith gets the win. Jonathan Cofield in second. Jason Warren comes home P3. Charles Stevens Jr. and Aaron Adcock round out your top 5. Brandon Wallace comes back for a 6th place finish. Brandon Pollock in 7th. Greg Barnett finishes 8th. Daniel Cunningham and Tyler Rice round out your top 10. 11th will be Travis Beamer. Kernan Church back in 12th. 13th, Steve McDonald. Matt Knights in 14th. 15th, Jason Lotridge. Matt Kleeman 16th. Josh Oswald in 17th. Brett Bieber, Chuck Pegleg Feltz, and Mike Kosick going from the front to the back, unfortunately, rounds out your top 20. As we get ready to talk to our top 3, starting with your 3rd place finisher, Jason Warren. Jason, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
Well, let me turn your volume up on my side. What a race here. Up in the top 3 of the race. Just trying to find something there at the end. That green white checker came out. Looks like they got a really good race momentum there. I know you're probably hoping that it will went green flag to the end, but man, strategy-wise, it looks like you were up front. Might have had something there at the end if you had watched it come out. Do you have anything for any of that?
No, I had a 3rd or 4th place car, so I'll gladly take a podium and move on to a track that I guess is more accustomed to my driving style.
Yeah, for sure. And yes, just seemed like the strategy went out the window tonight as the cautions fell the way they did. Were you kind of surprised how the cautions fell? Because it seemed like it was pretty clean race, and then cautions just started flying.
I actually thought we'd have more cautions with that track, and it's so bumpy in certain places. They can just fly the car all over the place. Cautions start flying a little bit there at the end. I was struggling bad. My right front was gone. Car was super tight. I was basically just driving very defensive. The hold on to my spot. Unfortunately, I think Kiernan and Caustic got into it. Might have been my fault. I don't know. If it is, I'm sorry, but it's just racing, I reckon. Good. It was a good finish for us.
As Denny Hamlin would say, it's just short track racing. So, but man, great run here tonight. Like you said, P3. Always a good feeling when you're on the podium. Good point state. Before I let you go, anyone want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, you and Intensity Broadcasting, you guys are freaking amazing. Velocity Motorsports, Shockeye Motorsports, Kent Hunley, the School of Sim Racing, Thunderstruck Super Series, and the Rebels Racing League, and the guys that run this particular league, Jonah and Daniel. Good people, good league.
Awesome, man. Well, I've had a blast so far calling these Grand National Series. I can't wait what the rest of the season will look like.
All right, take it easy, man.
Have a great day. That was your third place finisher, Jason Ward. Let's bring you your second finisher, Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh, I got you.
Man, another great run for you here tonight. Looked like you might have had something for Eddie, but that caution came out right there at the end to bring up that green-white checker. Were you kind of hoping that it would have went green, or did you have anything for Eddie there at the end?
Yeah, I was going to try to have something for him. I was kind of wishing it would have went green. That last caution kind of got me there. So last 5 laps, had come up with a game plan on how I was going to get a run on him, but he did a great job. I mean, we stayed nose to tail for that whole last run. I mean, Eddie, he's a strong competitor.
Yeah, and these cars are really aero dependent, I know. How hard is it to pass, especially at a track like this where it's so high speed and the progressive banking just not able to get the run on people the way you want?
Yeah, it's super tough to get a pass on somebody. You can get a run on them and get down in the corner, but unless you can use the whole track getting off, they're going to beat you every time.
For sure. Well, again, congrats on the second place finish. Another good point stay for you. I know that's kind of the goal here on out, is to stay up towards the front there. And before I let you go, anything you want to thank? Anyone you want to shout out here tonight?
Yeah, you guys for doing the broadcast intensity. Can't wait to go back and watch Kinder Farm Ranch, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Chuck Peg Leg Phelps, everybody that puts the league on. Anybody can win at any time. This is an awesome group of guys to be around. For
sure, and as I just said, I've been loving this Grand National Series, and I can't wait for the rest of the season because it's going to be an awesome one. So again, congrats, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
That was your second place finisher, Jonathan Cofield. Let's bring in your winner tonight here, Eddie Smith. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh.
And another win for you. Another not quite a dominating performance. You had a lot of competition there between Cossack and Cofield there, and that Cofield said that green-white checker may have saved you a little bit because he had something for you. He might have had something for you there at the end. Were you kind of shocked when that green-white checker came out? And were you a little worried there at the end?
Not shocked. Honestly, this is going to be a little contradictory, but I felt better that the green-white. Yeah, I agree with him. I agree that the green-white checker probably made me feel the best, because unless everybody else went down pit road and just left me out there on old tires, that's about the only scenario I didn't feel good. I was able to take the top side, and I knew, especially on older tires, that it was going to be real difficult. I was just telling Jason that, there's a lot of people I respect and I feel comfortable racing around in the league where you can race close. And honestly, that's probably the best thing for me, because I knew that the top side was going to be so strong that if he got to my inside, I was going to be able to hold him off, just because I trust him not to come up into me and wreck me. So I think that helped me out, just the confidence, that just a testament to Cofield that I have the confidence in him that we can race side by side hard, and I know he's not going to take me out. So the green-white checker definitely was, I feel like it gave me a breather, and I said, okay, I think I'll be able to take care of business.
Yeah, for sure. And you showed some of the best long-run speed all night, especially that first run. Seemed like everybody burned their tires off, and then you just came out of nowhere, came flying through the field. Were you just trying to take it easy that first run, kind of feel it out and make your way up to the front as it went?
No, I hate this track because of I can't. Okay, everybody's gonna roll their eyes, but honestly, short run speed, I have 2/10 off everybody else. Everybody up front, they were a lot faster. I don't know if it's the line or how, or just I don't know how to run the track like that. But I was running hard. I don't save tires in this car, so I was running as hard as I could. But my line was just bad on the initial, firing off on new tires. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure I understand how they're running nines. I mean, I think the best lap I ran in the race was a 1-2 or something. So that's a good 2/10 off of what those guys were able to run. So I don't know if that helped just the particular line that I was running, but I was able to run them down on that long run. And that second, when the caution came out, that second run, I was doing all I can to just stay in front of them. They were so much faster. So I don't know. I don't know how to do better. I guess it's good for the long run, but I was really disappointed in my firing off speed on new tires.
Yeah, as we rode along with you at one point, it seemed like you were getting to the throttle a lot later than everybody else, but you were able to really rotate and really roll that center off. So that might have helped you save a little bit of tires and have that long run speed. But either way, it got you the win here tonight, and that's got to feel good either way, any way you can get them.
Yeah, a great battle there with Cofield. He put a lot of pressure on me. I had to actually take my headphones off because I couldn't focus, and uh, he was putting a whole lot of pressure on me, and I didn't want to make a mistake. The biggest mistake you make here is hit the bump going into turn 1 and 2 or 1, and so you're always trying to arc it over the one on the bottom, and because if you hit it, it'll knock you up out of the groove. So it was pretty stressful, I have to admit. I mean, he put a lot of pressure, had a great race. I'm glad that we was able to race it out like that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure, and that's exactly what I said on the broadcast. He's just sitting there right on your back bumper, trying to force an error, and you just were able to better him tonight and get the win. So before we let you go, Eddie, anyone you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that races in this league, man. There's not hardly anybody in this series that I don't just enjoy talking to, being around, and having a good time. So there's not a better way of spending a Friday night, Saturday night, or any night of the week than racing with these guys. It's just a blast. So I mean, I seem to run with 3 or 4 different groups of people every different series, just because I just enjoy racing with all these guys. And tonight I felt like was just the perfect example of why, man, having good hard racing. I mean, me and Caustic raced our guts out for a few laps there in that first run. So just want to thank him, Cofield, Jason Warren, and everybody in that series. Aaron Adcock was racing in their chat, Daniel Cunningham. So just got a lot of people to thank. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, man. I love this series. I love this league. So I want to thank you for broadcasting. Thank the JC Motorsports boys for putting this series on, and all our sponsors that everybody that puts money and time into this league. Man, it definitely shows.
Well, we appreciate the kind words, and absolutely, I look forward. As I've been saying to both everybody else tonight, I'm looking forward to the rest of this season because it's been some great racing all season long, and it's just the beginning. So hopefully the show continues.
Yes, sir.
Eddie, you have yourself a great night.
You too, Josh.
So there you have it, your winner, Eddie the King Smith. Let's talk about our Tough Luck Award here tonight. And I'm going to have to give the Tough Luck Award to the 8 of Mike Kosick, getting involved in that incident earlier. That right there just absolutely wrecked his race. He had a winning car for sure. And due to the incident there, that's going to be your Cofield Asphalt Finishing Tough Luck Award of the night. I will say that I do have to give out the No Neck Paint tonight as well. And seeing the cars out on track, one car that kind of caught my eye tonight, and it's kind of ironic doing this, but it is, as it's sideways on the track. I really like the look of that 19 car tonight. It had some slick look on it tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and give Matt Kleeman the No Neck Paint of the Night to No Neck himself. So there you have it here at Iowa Speedway. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, as the racing was fantastic. We want to thank or congratulate yet again Eddie Smith for the fantastic win here tonight. Congratulations to all three of our podium finishers. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Check us out at IntensityBroadcasting.com. Check us out for live racing whenever we go live. Right now, we've got a little hiatus in some of our series. We do have some new series coming up, though. On Monday nights, we're going to have a new series starting up. Details following soon. We're going to have a new series over on our Twitch channel, which is our secondary channel. On Friday nights, we'll have the F&D Racing making a comeback. That's going to be on Twitch only, so you can check that out as well. And of course, like, follow, and subscribe so you know every time we go live. And as our boy Atlee Hatman Weiss would say, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate everybody, and